For your self-portrait, go ahead and open a new document. File, New. Title it your period number, your last name, and selfie. It needs to be set up in inches, and the width is going to be 11, and the height is going to be 14. The resolution is 150, color mode is RGB, and background can be white. Go ahead and hit OK. Then you're going to go ahead and open up all your photos that you took with the iPad. So I have all my photos opened. I'm going to take them and put them into my project. Again, you can drag and drop or duplicate and send to new destination. I'm going to drag and drop. Drag and drop. Oops. And drop. And close. Drag and drop. And close. Drag and drop and close. Now I'm going to line up the photos so that they all kind of match. In order to do this, I'm going to stretch them and make them transparent so that I can see each one and how they align. So I started to stretch that. I'm going to turn the opacity down so I can see through the picture and stretch the other pictures. So again, you kind of want to just eyeball where they belong. I'm using my transform control, and transform controls is selected. And my last one, I'm bringing that up top. Again, turn the opacity down so I can see through it, but still stretch it so that it fits. And there we go. So all three, maybe that one's down a little bit. No, that looks good up. All three are aligned. All right, all three are aligned. So now what you're going to do is we're going to put a stamp effect. We're going to actually duplicate this, retitle this our original, and duplicate a copy. Duplicate layer, hit OK, and I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to call this one stamp. In my color palette here, I'm going to pick the colors that I want my project to be. I'm going to go for a monochromatic color scheme. So I'm going to pick this blue color. It's my favorite color. I'm happy, I'm calm when I'm blue. I'm going to go to Filter, Filter Gallery, and I'm going to select, if you zoom out you can see what you're doing. I'm going to select Stamp Effect. It's in Sketch, Stamp, and you can play with the detail within your work. I'm going to hit OK. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to retitle my layers. So I have my pixel maker and my contour lines. Okay. So now I'm going to play with blending modes. I'm going to put my stamp effect, hard light, hard light. You can experiment with what you want to do each one with. My pixel maker is going to be on top, and that one's going to be dark light, or I'm sorry, darker color, And then my contour lines are going to be darken. There we go. So then you kind of see everything through. And again, you can fix and edit. You don't have to do exactly what I just did. So before I have my opacity turned down on each one, so I'm going to turn it back up on each layer. So it's back to 100%. There we go. I did label each one, so I put stamp hard light with the hard light so that you can kind of tell throughout this pixel maker, darker color, and darken. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to call it brushes. And on this layer, I'm going to make it blending mode multiply. I'm going to change it to multiply. And I'm going to use a variety of my blues and some fancy brushes that I have. I have some cool splatter brushes that I'm going to paint and splatter over so it blends in with the rest of my project. If I take it too far with my brushes, I can always erase. So I can go back in with an eraser and use a fancy eraser brush to kind of pull out and back up. So that'll do the opposite if you just go a little too dark. Just an idea. Up next, we're going to add masks to 3 of our layers so that we can lighten some of the negative space. Right now it's really heavy. I have a lot of blue going on, and I want to kind of break apart some of the negative space. So right here, I'm going to go to my contour lines layer, and I'm going to go into, this is my mask right here. It's the square with a circle. If I click that, you'll see it makes a little mask. When the white brackets are around the mask, that means it's currently activated and it's a new mask. So the way this works is anything that is black that shows up, so I'll do it with a regular brush so you can see. So when I paint with black, oh, I was using my eraser, my bad. When I paint with black, you can see I get a giant black circle here. What that does is it erases, okay? It erases the contour lines that are in this layer without affecting the actual photo or contour line drawing. So the other thing that you can do is you can do the opposite. So now I'm going to do white. You can see it kind of took it all away. So now my contour lines are back. It might be easier to see. There we go. So black, it erases it. Flip it to white, white, it's back. So how can this benefit us? Okay, I don't actually want to affect my contour lines just yet. So I'm going to go onto the pixel one and do the same thing. Mask mode. I'm going to put a mask mode on stamp. So I'm going to go to Pixel Whacker, and I'm going to select one of my splatter brushes, and I'm going to go to black. So I'm on my mask, I'm in black, and what it's doing is I'm actually taking away some of the dots. So you can see, you can back up if you don't like what you're doing. So you can kind of decide, maybe you have too many dots in the face. Okay, let's take some of that out. Take some of it out in a natural way. Do the same thing with, so you can see that little splatters are appearing on your mask. So here I am on my mask with my blue. Gotta turn my original off. Okay. Again, I want to put some more. Oops. I painted right onto the layer. You have to make sure the white brackets are around the mask. Am I going too far? I don't know. Let's turn my brushes back on. We can see it. Okay. So with this combination, kind of playing around with these new tricks, you're going to eventually just get a little bit of self-portrait. You want to include negative space to create the portrait, and then you're done.